That was great.
Good. The
Nice
line? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I felt very stuck a couple of times.
No, you're a natural.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice going.
Yeah, that was a difficult one, I think.
You held good rapport.
Yeah.
They would probably want to talk again if they had
Okay,
a chance.
Cool.
No, nice job.
Thank you, I appreciate it. All right, nice.
I'm just going to switch this card and we'll be good to go.
Okay, great. That'll be.
Hey there.
Yes, and I believe I'm interviewing. You can give me another crack at your name if you want. You want to pronounce it for me?
Well, Malina.
Melina? No? You're doing it wrong? That's very unfortunate. Okay, well, you can at least tell me how to spell it. I'm going to put it on my board here.
You can also go with my American nickname.
What's that?
Marley.
Marley? Okay, okay, great. Great. I'll try to not. I probably won't butcher that as badly. All right. Let's go with Marley.
Is it about religion?
It's not supposed to be really about it. I want to give people the freedom to choose, so it can be, if that's something that's important to you. Yeah, it might be difficult. It's a big when you're trying to think of something, you mean? Yeah. We have like a little can full of like words that you can pull from, and that might inspire you to think of something.
Are you okay if it's recorded?
Yes. All right. Okay. Cool, Marley. So, like I said, it's a conversational method called street epistemology. So we're just trying to learn more about like why you believe things, why you act the way that you do. And if you are struggling to come up with something, we have a can of things. So let's see. I'll pop it open for you, and you can just grab something out of there, and see if something comes to mind. If not, we can also redraw our little.
Afterlife.
So that's a big one. That's a big one. Do you want to talk about? Do you have any beliefs about where we go after we cease to be?
I don't really do because I'm an atheist.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. So
Throw it back in.
we can talk about that. Yeah. How you? So when I say afterlife, so help me come up with a claim here. Do you believe that or about atheism? Yeah. I kind of like the afterlife one. So we'll see if we can explore that. So yes. So afterlife. What happened? We kind of cease to
Yes,
be.
actually,
Okay.
yes, that's
So
what I believe.
Sure. So I want to get an understanding of how confident you are in that claim. So if we were to say that you believe we cease to be after we die, how confident are you? On a scale of 1 to 10. I should have said that.
On a scale from 1 to 10,
Yes.
in my case, I absolutely believe it's a full 10.
Cool. Full 10. All right.
I do believe that for people who do believe in an afterlife,
Yeah.
that it can be a great comfort, and even just having that thought is also already a way of comfort during life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I'm going around telling people, hey, afterlife absolutely doesn't exist if
Right.
they believe in it.
Right.
But especially like if people talk about afterlife, right? And the Christianity, I think it's called, it's always this thing with hell and heaven, and I just, like, if there's an afterlife, I don't think it's like you go in this bin or that bin.
Yeah. Okay.
It
Sure.
seems a bit ridiculous. It seems made up by, humans.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So,
So-
what's your biggest reason for thinking that that's true? Do you think it's
Well, I think it all comes back to me being an atheist.
Sure. Okay. So then it's rooted in that belief. Fair enough. Okay.
It's just, I believe in science, and nothing
Right.
in science so far has pointed me in any direction that there will be consciousness after death or
Right.
anything, or rebirth, or, well, heaven or hell.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that's completely fair. Yeah. So it's your atheism which is rooted in scientific thought. Is that kind of what I'm
Kinda.
understanding?
I mean, see, my dad, he's quite religious. He
Okay.
goes to church, but I don't think he believes in the afterlife as it's told by the Bible.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
And I just grew up with a mom who never really believed in that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked a lot about it, and it's just. I'm from Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we talk a lot about like the positive impacts on society that the church has had, but also
Okay.
like more of the more critical things, like accusations against the church of abuse, etc. Right? And in my mind, the church has, of course, it has done a lot of good for some people, but it has also caused a lot of,
Yeah.
harm. It has been used as an institution to control other people, to push others down, to reject other ideals, and always the thought of like the loving process.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the loving others is what people preach. But what I see in at least European cultures and from what I've seen online of American culture as well, in regards to church and religion, it's always more of a let's reject others if they don't fit in our neat little boxes.
Right. Right.
Though to be fair, during my trip here, I've seen a lot of churches with rainbow flags that also said we welcome all here. But at the same time, it also like shows me that the churches that don't have it might think oppositely, right? So
yeah. Cool. Okay, so you're here vacationing
yes.
in Boston. Okay, how long are you here?
Well, we started in New York.
Oh, nice.
And we did a road trip around Cape Cod. And we came from Salem yesterday.
Very cool. I like Salem. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite beautiful. And yeah, we loved it a lot.
Great. Okay, good to hear. Good to hear. So, I'm curious. Was that, do you think, the biggest reason for your disbelief in an afterlife, or your belief in atheism, which was the church causes harm to people?
No, I think that's more based on my religious belief, right?
Right.
You don't need to be Catholic or something like that to believe in an afterlife. I have an Indian friend, she believes in rebirth, and rebirth could be something as simple as being reborn as a tree, right? People in India often are, what do you call it, if they burn the body?
Okay.
And then they plant a tree seed in it, and a tree grows.
Right,
that's
reincarnation.
Also, yeah, that's the reincarnation part of it. So you don't have to necessarily be reborn as a human.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, I when I was a kid, I had we had this story in German where kids are told that if a person dies, like they become a star in the sky and they like look down on you, and there was this kind of belief I had as a little kid, but like as you grow older and understand what death is, it just like kind of faded away. So I didn't believe someone was like my grandma was looking down from the stars or something like that. So I think it's just kind of was an organic process of not believing in anything afterlife anymore, and just there being blankness.
Yeah. Cool. That makes a lot of sense. I like that story. That super relates. So, so as it stands now, I apologize if I'm missing the point, but I want to know, like, so your disbelief in the afterlife is because you're an atheist, is what you said. Your lack of religious belief.
I think it can be. Well, it could lead back to that.
Okay.
I don't see any other reason to believe in an afterlife.
Sure.
Because there's no scientific fact I know of that proves otherwise.
Right.
And I have no personal experience that proves otherwise, right? So I don't always say science is everything.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you experience something you believe is worth more.
Right.
But, well, so far, I've not experienced such a thing, right?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so you're basically like no personal experience, no factual experience to indicate that would be the case, and as such you don't believe in it. Yeah? Okay. That makes a lot of sense to me. Is there any questions I think I'm missing? I might have David pop in with an assist.
Would there be a good reason? What would be a good reason that would cause you to start believing in it?
Yeah. Or I guess.
Or that will raise lower confidence.
Right.
How do we test it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, well, I kind of don't want to test it, as in, I think the only thing that would make me believe it is actual death. So.
Okay. Yeah, so we don't want that to happen.
We don't want to test that.
We don't want that to happen. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe in the concept of bad afterlife, good afterlife, or whatever comes next, right? So I guess if there were something else to happen than what I believe at this point in time, which probably will only change after that.
Yeah.
If there's still a thought process going on,
and I
wouldn't mind it either way.
Right. Now, let's say we had someone join us in the pagoda and say, I died once. My heart completely stopped, and then I came back to life, and I saw something. Right, I saw something there. Would you find that convincing at all? What would you say to the person like that?
This is brings me back to the point of science, right?
Yeah.
At what point do you declare someone completely dead, right? If it's possible to bring you back, even though your heart is stopped, technically your body hasn't completely died, right?
Yes.
So everything else could probably be led back to science that hasn't been discovered yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, sure, you could have experienced that, but to be fair, like if there's a lot of adrenaline involved or stuff like that, is it really something that can be taken into account, right? Like, I'm not sure if you have it in the US, but where I come from, if you are involved in an accident, any comments you make at the scene of the accident can't be used against you in court or in a police report, because they say the adrenaline and the emotions involved could have like altered your impression of what actually happened.
Right.
So, of course, you could tell me you saw whatever light flashed by, or I don't know, someone spoke to you, or you saw something that told you to go or not to go. Could all be true in your case, but it still isn't an experience I can personally see.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it would change
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. That makes sense. So you still feel pretty confident at that like 10 mark. You're like, I'm 100% confident that there's no afterlife or anything because of those reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, for my case, yes.
Yeah.
I do, though, want to empathize that if someone were to believe something different, I wouldn't want to infringe on their rights to believe their own voice, their own conscience, or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Great.
yeah.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
What does happen? How do we know that?
What does happen, and how do we know that?
Oh, what does happen after we die? Okay, yeah.
Well, I think we can only see it from our perspective, right? So if you look at it, it's more of a, also like if someone dies in your family or friend, it's more of a process, the people who have to deal with their emotions afterwards. So I think after you're dead, that's done, right? So everything that's left is like your friends, your family, like grieving for you and like remembering you. And I think if you want to put it that way, you could also call that an afterlife. That friends and family talk about you, and like in where I come from, after someone dies, we often come together like to have a meal afterwards and talk about the person that has died. In a way, that's also like kind of in memory living on, right? So I think that's also why some people are just obsessed with like leaving their mark in history or whatever, because that's the only guarantee they have of kind of being remembered, living on in, well, history. If that's a good thing, I'm not sure about, but I think everyone needs to decide for themselves.
That is very interesting. Cool. I think I need to chew on that. That's good though. That's I'm gonna think about more later. Yeah.
We be in things that we don't know unless we die.
Yeah.
Well, if you ask about how confident should we be in this case, I think everyone needs to decide for themselves, because there's no scientific proof in my case, or if you are completely religious and know in your head at least, or in your opinion, it's the absolute truth that there is an afterlife, that's absolutely fine, right? But if you just go and deal with this kind of thought process with everything around you, maybe don't apply it to every situation. It could be problematic long term.
Yeah.
Are you open to being mistaken about your conclusion about
Normally, I'd say I'm open to being proven wrong to keep discussing things, but in this case, it's a bit hard to keep discussing it if, like, as I said, the only way to prove me wrong in this case would be for me to be dead and like experience it myself. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds good to me. All right, great.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. I have a little puzzle piece for you as a reminder for the talk. You can look this up, Street Epistemology, and you'll see a bunch of people talking, having conversations like this. And I hope that piques your interest. So thanks for joining us, Marley. That was a lot of fun.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, enjoy your afternoon. That was a good one. That was good. Those questions at the end were, I wouldn't have thought of them. I was like, oh, that had me thinking afterward. You know, because it is kind of like almost unfalsifiable, the way that she was thinking about it, which is okay, but I was just like, oh, wow.
Well, the gentleman before that, he was saying it was unfalsifiable too. There's no way to tell if he was wrong. Right?
Yeah.
So how confident, either
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
how confident should we be in things that we can't tell if we were wrong about?
Yeah, exactly. That's it would have been interesting to learn more about the her potentially moving on her confidence.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like caught up in what I was thinking about. So
You're doing really good.
that was cool.
Just us 15 years.